Hello students, hope you are studying well at your home. In the previous video, we started the discussion about post-fertilization events in which we started with development of endosperms. Now let's see what's the next process. After the formation of endosperms, the next process which starts is the development of embryo. As we already studied, हमने जैसे पहले ही बात की थी fertilization के टॉपिक के टाइम पे कि जब फर्टिलाइजेशन होता है उस टाइम पे प्राइमरी एंडोस्पर्म न्यूक्लियस जो एंडोस्पर्म बनाने का काम करता है एंड जाइगोट विल डेवलप इनटू द एम्ब्रियो बट डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एंडोस्पर्म्स टेक प्लेस फर्स्ट एंड देन डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एम्ब्रियो विल स्टार्ट. रीजन क्या था इसका? एम्ब्रियो की डेवलपमेंट हमेशा एंडोस्पर्म की डेवलपमेंट के बाद ही स्टार्ट होती है सो दैट द एम्ब्रियो कैन बी एश्योर्ड विद अ पर्टिकुलर न्यूट्रिशन, ताकि एम्ब्रियो को न्यूट्रिशन अवेलेबल रहे, न्यूट्रिटिव टिश्यूज उसके लिए अवेलेबल रहे. सो नाउ इन टुडेज वीडियो वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एम्ब्रियो. लेट्स स्टार्ट डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एम्ब्रियो और एम्ब्रियो डेवलपमेंट. We will start with the development of embryo in the case of dicot or dicotyledons flower. So we will starting with the dicot plants. Let's see how the development of embryo will start in the dicots. After fertilization, the structure that is formed is zygote. We have seen that after fertilization, that is the result of syngamy or fertilization process in which one male gamete will fuse with the egg cell and then zygote will form. That is the zygote. That zygote is diploid in nature. For the formation of embryo, now zygote will develop to form embryo. Let's see how it develops in embryo. That zygote will first, this zygote will divide mitotically and it forms two cells. First division that will happen or started in the zygote. It results in the form of two cells. Here two cells will form. One cell will known as basal cell and another cell will known as terminal cell. Due to the division in the zygote, two cells were formed. One is basal cell and another one is terminal cell. यहाँ पे दो cells बनी है zygote में division होने की वजह से. एक सेल जो होगी वो कहलाएगी बेसल सेल और दूसरी सेल जो होगी वो कहलाएगी टर्मिनल सेल. बेसल सेल और टर्मिनल सेल कौन सी सेल को आप किस नाम से रेफर करें, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन देयर सिचुएशन, ऑन देयर लोकेशन. वी हैव सीन दैट जाइगोट इज फॉर्म्ड टुवर्ड्स द माइक्रोपाइलर एंड. हमने देखा था कि माइक्रोपाइलर एंड पे ही एग प्रेजेंट था और वहीं पे जाइगोट बना था. इफ वी टेक दैट दिस इज, इफ वी रेफर इट एज माइक्रोपाइलर एंड रेफर इट एज चार्लेजल एंड, देन this cell which is present towards the micropylar end, जो cell micropylar end की तरफ present रहती है, that cell is known as basal cell, and the cell which presents toward the chalazial end will consider as terminal cell. So we have to mention the poles here or location here. So this is the cell which presents toward the micropylar end or toward the micropyle is considered as basal cell, and the cell which is present toward the chalazial end is considered as terminal cell. In some books or at some other places you can see that basal cell can be drawn here and terminal cell can be drawn here. It can be written here, but it always depends according to their location. So keep remember about it. Let's see what happens next. After that, both of these two cells will start division. आगे जाके दोनों cells अपना division start कर देंगी, but we will take about the division of basal cell first. हम पहले basal cell के बारे में बात करते हैं. In the next steps, the basal cells start dividing. They do transverse divisions. Basal cells do transverse division. Here, transverse division will take place in the basal cells, due to which basal cells form a long structure. It forms many cells. Like if we draw the basal cells, these type of cells will form due to the division of basal cells. It forms almost 6 to 10 cells long structure, and this 6 to 10 cell structures will known as suspensor. The basal cells divide by the transverse division and it forms 6 to 10 cell structure that is suspensor. ये जो suspensor बना है इसके अंदर जो सबसे नीचे की cell होती है, the lower cell of this suspensor will form this form haustoria. We will label it as haustoria. And this is about the basal cell. After transverse division, basal cell will form 7 to 10 cell or 6 to 10 cell structure that is suspensor. In this, the lowermost cell is considered as haustoria, and the cell which is uppermost or which will present in the contact with the proembryo, जो ऊपर terminal cell से बनेगा, this cell will refer to as hypophysis. And now let's take about the terminal cell. यहाँ तक basal cell का रोल यहीं तक था कि basal cells ने क्या किया? They divide transversely and they form structure, a long structure that is suspensor. Out of these, the lowermost cell is considered as haustoria, and the cell which is present towards the chalazial end, the uppermost cell of the suspensor which is present towards the chalazial end is known as hypophysis. Now let's take what happens with the terminal cells. Next जो event होगा वो होगा टर्मिनल सेल से रिलेटेड. टर्मिनल सेल्स में अब डिवीजन स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं. नाउ टर्मिनल सेल विल स्टार्ट डिवाइडिंग एंड इट फॉर्म्स स्ट्रक्चर. इट डिवाइड इन ऑल प्लेन्स. इसमें होने वाला जो डिवीजन होगा टर्मिनल सेल के अंदर वो सभी प्लेन के अंदर होगा. फर्स्ट द टर्मिनल सेल डिवाइड एंड इट फॉर्म 2 सेल स्ट्रक्चर एंड देन लेटर इट फॉर्म्स 4 सेल स्ट्रक्चर. दिस कंडीशन इज नॉन एज quadrate structure because 4 cells are formed here, and this is known as proembryo. Proembryo, or it will consider as proembryo quadrate due to these 4 cells. So this is about proembryo and suspensors. This is the suspensor. This is hypophysis. This is haustoria, and this 4-celled proembryo. Now these cells of proembryo will divide further. Proembryo की जो cells हैं ये further divide होंगी. And finally they will form, again they will divide into all plane and they form 8 cell structure. Like this way they will form 8 cell structure, and now it will consider as octate structure, proembryo octate. Here we will draw the hypophysis and another cells, these another cells of suspensor will draw here, and this is the lowermost cell that is haustoria. This is proembryo octate. ये जो structure यहाँ पे बन गई है ये structure है proembryo octate. We can write it here octate, and this is proembryo again. In some books it can be referred as proembryonal octate because proembryo के अंदर ही 8 cell structure form हुई है, so it can be known as proembryo octate. After that, these octate cells, these 8 cells of the proembryo will divide periclinially. Periclinial division होगा means they divide at their periphery, or these cells of these 8 cells of proembryo will divide periclinially. Like what happened here, let's see. These are the 8 cells of this octate. Yes, proembryo octate की 8 cells हैं, and these cells will divide in such a manner that they divide at their periphery. Finally, we will get the situation like this. This cell will also divide. This cell will also divide. This also, and this one also, and this last one also. Finally, we will get the structure like this. This is again suspensor, and the lowermost haustoria. After this, periclinal, we have to write here, this is the periclinal division. Periclinal division will take place here, and it will form arranged into the 2 layers, means it will form 2 tiers. The cells of these octate will arrange in the form of 2 tiers, means कुछ cells अंदर की तरफ arrange है and some are arranged at the periphery. The cells which are arranged at the periphery, जो बाहर की तरफ cells arrange होंगी, these cells will form the dermatogen. Dermatogen. The cells which are arranged at the periphery, they will form the dermatogen. Later it will form the epidermis, जो आगे जाके epidermis बनाने का काम करेगा. This is about this structure. Now with this division of these cells, now division in the hypophysis will also start. यहाँ पे अब hypophysis के अंदर भी division start हो जाता है, and again hypophysis will divide and it will it also form 8 cell structure. So these type of cells are present here and this way. These are the cells of the proembryo. This is the cells of proembryo, and hypophysis will again divide. It will form the 8 cell structure. So 8 cells will form in the hypophysis also. These are the 8 cells. Actually, I want to tell you here that the division is not like this. इस तरीके से division नहीं होता. ये जो structure है, जो hypophysis है या proembryo, these are the mass of the cells. ये cell का एक mass है. कुछ cells आगे की तरफ होती हैं, कुछ cells पीछे की तरफ होती हैं. We can't see all the cells at one time. हमें सारी की सारी cells नजर नहीं आती किसी भी एक view से. But we are drawing here all the cells. We are showing all the cells ताकि हमें बता सके कि कौन सी cell से आगे जाके क्या बनने वाला है. What is the fate of these cells? So we are shown all these cells like in this manner, but it's not looks like that. So keep remember, it's not look like this. This is the suspensors and lowermost again hypophysis. Up to this, what we have, let's recall all the thing. अभी तक हमने क्या देखा है, क्या हो रहा है? This is the zygote. After fertilization, the fusion of male gamete with female gametes results in the formation of zygote. एक zygote बना है जो कि 2n है, diploid structure में है. This zygote divide mitotically and it forms 2 cells. One is terminal cell and another one is basal cell. This basal cell will start dividing. पहले बेसल सेल की हम बात कर रहे थे. ये जो बेसल सेल से ट्रांसवर्सली डिवाइड होगी, इसमें ट्रांसवर्स डिवीजन होंगे जिसकी वजह से एक 6 to 10 सेल स्ट्रक्चर, एक लॉन्ग स्ट्रक्चर बनेगी जिसे हम बोलते हैं सस्पेंसर. सस्पेंसर की लोअर मोस्ट सेल को बोला जाता है होस्टोरिया, और जो ऊपर की तरफ सेल होती है जो प्रो एम्ब्रियो के कनेक्शन में होती है, दैट सेल इज नोन एज हाइपोफाइसिस. आफ्टर दैट वी डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द डिवीजन इन टर्मिनल सेल. टर्मिनल सेल डिवाइड इन ऑल प्लेन, इसमें सभी प्लेन्स में डिवीजन होंगे. फर्स्ट इट फॉर्म 2 सेल, देन इट कन्वर्ट इनटू द 4 सेल एंड लेटर इट विल कन्वर्ट इनटू द 8 cell structure. Proembryo will form 8 cell structure, and this 8 cell structure is known as proembryonal octet. 4 cell condition को हम बोल सकते हैं proembryal quadrate, and this is proembryal octet. After the formation of this proembryal octet, periclinal division will take place here. यहाँ पे periclinal division होगा. Periclinal division होने की वजह से जो cells हैं वो 2 tiers में arrange हो जाएंगी, and the outer layers of the cells, जो बाहर की तरफ cells arrange हुई हैं, they will form the dermatogen. वो क्या बनाने का काम करेंगी आगे जाके? They will form the dermatogen, and this dermatogen later on will form the epidermis. ये dermatogen आगे जाके बनाएगा epidermis. After that, the division in the hypophysis also start. Hypophysis में भी division start हो जाता है, and it also form 8 cell. ये भी 8 cell structure बनाता है. देखते हैं इसकी 8 cell से क्या form होगा. The lowermost cells, lowermost these 4 cells, जो नीचे की तरफ की 4 cells हैं, these 2 cells will form the root cap and root tip. The lowermost 4 cells, the 4 cells that is towards this radicle, जो नीचे की तरफ होगा या towards the micropylar end जो present होंगी, these 4 cells will form root cap and root tip. The upper 4 cells, these 4 cells which are present towards the chalazal end or towards the connection with the proembryo, these cells will form root cortex. ये बनाएंगी root cortex. And now all these cells of the proembryo, ये जो proembryo की cells हैं, देखते हैं इनसे क्या क्या बनता है. In the case of the proembryo, these lower cells of the proembryo, जो proembryo की नीचे वाली cells हैं, these lower cells of the proembryo that is towards the connection with hypophysis, जो hypophysis के connection में है, these cells, these we are talking about these 4 cells. Out of these lower cells, these cells will form the hypocotyle. They will form hypocotyle, and upper these cells, the cells which are towards the chalazal part, they will form cotyledon and plumule. Plumule which is considered as future shoot, जो आगे जाके future shoot बनाने का काम करेगा, that is plumule. And Hypocotyle is the lower part, and root cortex, root cap, and root tip. These are the part of that originate from the radicle. ये जो वो part है जो radicle से arrange में जो आगे जाके root बनाने का काम करते हैं. And plumule will form the future shoot. So this is the structure up to which we call this type of embryo globular embryo. यहाँ तक embryo जो होता है वो कहलाता है globular embryo. Such type of embryo is considered as globular embryo. This is very important. Later on, many changes will come inside. इसके बाद आगे हम और भी कई सारे changes देखेंगे. Now, globular embryo will convert or change its shape and form some another tissues also. But first of all, let's take a look कि यहाँ तक जो ये हम चीज देख रहे हैं, how it will present in the ovary. कैसे ovary के अंदर या embryo sac के अंदर जो exact position होगी इस embryo की वो किस तरीके से होती है. अगर हम बात करें यहाँ पे ovary की, if we draw an ovary or ovule, that is anatropous ovule, which is the most common type of ovule. This is bitegmic, and embryo sac is present here. This is the embryo sac, and inside the embryo sac, zygote will form at that point. You know, we have discussed this in the fertilization part, that embryo will develop here. ये वो जगह है जहाँ पे zygote बना और यहीं से embryo की development start होगी. This is our microphylar end, and this is our chalazal end. Now, how it develops here? Let's see. यहाँ पे जो cells है zygote है, वो zygote divide होगा, divide होके इन सारे stages से होता हुआ when it converts into this type of structure, then it will present in here in this manner. This is proembryo. This part, this is proembryo, and suspensor will present here. Suspensor जो होगा वो यहाँ नीचे present होगा, और ये जो suspensor होता है, and here all the nutritive tissues are present here. इस part पे सारे nutritive tissues present रहेंगे. Means endosperm will present here. जो endosperm embryo को nutrition देने का काम करता है वो endosperm present रहेगा यहाँ ऊपर के part में. What happens here? क्या काम है यहाँ पे? ये जो suspensor है जो नीचे की तरफ embryo जिसके साथ connected है, that suspensor will push the embryo towards the endosperms. Suspensor जो है embryo को push करेगा towards the endosperms ताकि उसे अच्छे से पूरी तरीके से nutrition मिलता रहे. So this is up to the globular embryo. Now in the next video we will discuss how this globular embryo will converge or change into the different shapes, and then finally how it will form a mature embryo. So keep studying, keep watching. Thank you.